Welcome to all of viewers across Africa and across the world. This is Tusu Kumalo, your reporter here in Johannesburg. Welcome to all our followers, our subscribers at Africa Report News. We all very excited to have you with us here. And of course, it's a long time that we've been together, but we are now on elections and we are going to be bringing you a lot of things now, almost our daily broadcast, talking to you about the elections and, of course, other issues that are happening across South Africa. Remember, Africa Report News, your channel. We're going to bring you a lot of things concerning elections, so please don't lose out. Make sure you are subscribed. If you're not, also ask your friends and other people to subscribe so that when we go live, you always with us. We're going to be going to the field also to bring you these things live. But let's quickly move to elections. We want to look at the numbers. Our interest today, this evening, is about the numbers. Other things we're going to talk about them later, but let's look at the numbers. 29 May, all South Africans will be flocking to different voting stations to cast their vote. 30 years down the democratic dispensation, they will be electing a new government. It's quite a contested election in South Africa. The numbers speak for themselves. Mathematicians say numbers don't lie. Let's look at what's happening with those numbers there. About 70 political parties that are contesting this year's elections, quite a massive number. We know that in total, there are over 350 political parties in South Africa, but some of those parties, they are small. They only contest local government elections. Some of them, of course, they don't qualify. Maybe because of with national elections, the numbers are steep in terms of the signatures that they should bring, the monies that are involved, and some of them, because they are small, some of them they don't have a national support base, so they prefer the local government elections. So we've got 70 of them, but quite interesting, from that 70 number, about 31 of them are contesting the elections for the first time. Quite an interesting development. They're coming in for the first time to contest. This shows us that a lot of South Africans are looking into politics in terms of solving the country's problems. They're saying, we want to be there, we want to be in charge, we want to change things there. And 31 new political parties contesting these elections for the first national elections, not generally, the national elections for the first time. Let's look at who are the leaders in these elections, which parties are in the forefront. Of course, we've got the African National Congress. The ruling party here is still formidable. Of course, analysts are saying they are losing power because of things like the economy is not doing well, unemployment and corruption. But they're still a party. From their rallies, from their manifesto launches, you see they're still quite a crowd puller in terms of pulling supporters. But then you've got Umkhonto Sizwe that came out of the ANC, of course, being led by former President Jacob Zuma, being the face of that party. We've seen it making inroads in different parts of the country, especially in areas that have been originally been dominated by ANC. We talk about KwaZulu-Natal. We've seen them a little bit in Mpumalanga there. We've seen them here in Gauteng. They pull quite large crowds. So it's one force that has joined the three top political parties. They're also coming out strongly for this election. Then we've got, of course, the Democratic Alliance, the second Democratic Alliance, the second biggest party here, being steered by, of course, John Steenhuisen there. It's also promising everything and promising to take over power. In fact, the Democratic Alliance, when they launched their manifesto, they went to the lawns of the Union Building, in front of the Union Buildings, which are the city of government here, where the president's offices are. And they say their message was that they are coming to take over in this election. So very convinced that they will convince the voters to take over there. Of course, the Economic Freedom Fighters, led by the youthful Malema, is also bringing the fire, saying he's now ready with his party to take over government, to improve things. And of course, we know that it is time of elections and politicians are promising everything, but also coming forceful there. Being coming just from being a youth leader in the ANC, was expelled, is now leading a party that's around 1 million supporters. So that's quite a performance there by Julius Malemo. But elections, these elections also are highly contested, and he has to, of course, up his game together with the others there. Let's look at how many seats are being contested. There are about 887 seats that are being contested across the national legislature and the provincial legislature. Quite a number, but if you look at the candidates there, it's quite disturbing. There are about 14,889 candidates that are contesting for only those 887 seats. So almost everyone coming out say it should be me, it should be me, it should be me. We don't know what will happen because the seats are too few compared to that a whopping 14,889 contestants. They're coming out to take up those 887 seats in both national and provincial parliaments. But for this year, for the first time in South Africa, we've got independent candidates, and there are 11 of them coming out to contest as independents. It's a first phenomenon. So it will be interesting to see how they put up their campaign, how they perform, how people trust individuals compared to political parties. So it's going to be a very interesting mix that we are going to have there. But let's go down to gender breakdown. We have got 8,658 male contestants in these elections, but ladies also, females have also stood up to be counted. We've got about 6,234 females that are contesting these elections. Quite an interesting number. Definitely quite an interesting number. In other countries, you don't find that big chunk, especially considering that there are only 8,000 male contestants coming in there. So females also standing up to say, we want to be in charge, we want to be in government, we want to be in charge of the country, and of course, channel development and all other things. But what age groups are there? Do we have all ages represented, or is only our usual old presidents and ministers and MPs wanting to take over? Let's look at the statistics. We've got about 4,361 South Africans between the ages of 40 and 49 who are coming in to contest elections. They are the largest number, which is quite interesting, quite very positive, because those are still people in their almost youthful adult life, people who technologically, who modern, who in terms of what the country should be doing, where the country should be going, things that matter now in this day and age. There are people that are on top of that game. So it's quite interesting and quite encouraging that they provide the largest chunk, those between the ages of 40 and 49. But then you've got those between the ages of 50 and 59. There are also quite a number, the 3,708 of those people are contesting also as candidates in different portfolios in the provincial and in the national. Then you have got those between the ages of 30 and 39, quite interesting development. There are also 3,406, quite a good number for the youngsters who want to go into politics, who want to challenge the status quo and say, we are here as young people, we want to be the forefront of leading our country and the development and the youth development, youth unemployment, all those things are standing up to be counted there. Quite a positive development. And the over 60s, of course, we know politically, those you never fail to find them. There are about 1,924, those that are over 60 who are saying, we're not done, we can't leave it for you, let's do it together, let's move this country together, we're not done yet, we want to be there also. They are coming out there. Between the ages of 18 and 29, we've got quite a sizable number. I think we should also applaud South Africans, young South Africans, for not wanting to be left out. There are 1,493 of them that are coming in there to say, we, the 18-year-olds to 29, we want to be part of the government of this country. We want to be part of the future of this country. Interestingly, we've got 15 candidates that are just 18 years old. 18 years old, we're talking about youngsters who have just left school, grade 12, who are yet to go to university largely. They're there, they're already paving their way in the politics of the country, saying, we want to be in charge, we want to get in there, which is quite interesting. Then we have got the over 80s, of course, Omkhulu Nabogogo, they are there. We've got 17 of them, not many, but 17 of them saying, we want to be with you. We want to not to leave you alone. We want to show you how it's done. Let's see if they are going to win any seats there. Then lastly, the voting stations across the country, we've got 23,292 voting stations across the country, quite a big number in different parts of the country. Then we know that we have got about 58,000 South Africans that are across the world in different parts. They are going to be voting in embassies and consulates there. So quite interesting numbers and figures coming out of South Africa's elections. What do you think? What do you think will, from these figures that we have seen, the female figures, the age figures, of course, the seats that are there compared to the candidates, how do you think the elections will go? Let's hear your views there. And please remember to subscribe. Remember to also share this broadcast with other people. The next time that we come back to you, we'll be talking about Sudan. There's quite a huge crisis in Sudan. While the world is focusing maybe in Gaza, maybe in Ukraine, there is also another war that's ravaging lives in Sudan. We're going to be talking about that and saying what is happening there, what should be done, and what are Africans doing to provide African solutions to African problems. Tuzo Kumalo here in Johannesburg. Bye for now.